So it's super cloudy outside and I'm super cozy here in my office, which makes it the perfect time to talk about YouTube analytics. For better or for worse, YouTube provides the most robust amount of metrics and analytical information about the performance of your content and your channel. And that's a great thing because you have access to information that can really give you insight as to how you can improve things or change things up to help you hone in on what's working for your channel. But the bad side, or the more precarious side, is that you can get caught up in looking at your analytics multiple times a day, kind of inching and hoping like, hey, can you please like show me green arrows and like all move up in a positive direction and all of that, which can be kind of taxing to your sanity as a YouTube creator. And of course it could be super overwhelming because even though you have all of this information, sometimes it's hard to deduce what this information even means or how you should act accordingly. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I think are the most important YouTube analytics to track and how you can interpret the data so you can constantly improve your channel. I want to preface this by saying it's important to look at your YouTube analytics. I think that every creator should be using this data, but also you don't want to be that person who's like, your nose is at the tip of a mural, but you can't see the mural because you're so close to it, right? You're just like constantly staring at your analytics. So I recommend actually tracking your progress over some periods of time. I would recommend once or twice a month, depending on your upload schedule, just so that you have enough data to be able to track real progress and see if things are working. If you're constantly staring at your analytics, it can be hard to kind of factor what the cause is for certain bumps and dips. So that's why you really want to be able to zoom out and kind of track the progress over multiple data points. Just remember that the only person that you are competing with is yourself 28 days ago or whatever your time frame is, right? You want to constantly keep getting better and better, but you can't get better if you don't have a benchmark to compare to, right? So that's why it's super important to make sure that you are tracking these somewhere. All right, so let's jump into the YouTube Analytics dashboard. In the YouTube Studio, towards the left, you're going to click on Analytics. Now, the very first thing I'll say is that I say this multiple times on this channel, but the most important metric of all the metrics, if you had to pick one, which was like the paramount one, is watch time. This is the number of minutes that people spend watching your content. If more people are watching your content, or if people are spending more time watching your content, YouTube is just organically going to promote your content, which will drive subscribers and views. So this is the thing that you want to pay attention to most of all. Now, when you get to your channel analytics, go ahead and click on the Reach tab. And the second thing that I like to look at is this pyramid right here, because this is the thing that kind of drives all of the most important data. So I said watch time is the most important. Here's this at the bottom of the pyramid. Everything in this pyramid drives watch time. So if you want to know how you can increase your watch time, this pyramid right here will kind of give you some indicators to how you can do that. So the first thing is your impressions. This is how many times or how often YouTube is referring your content or recommending your content. You can hover over this and actually see, okay, in the past 28 days, 16% of my content is being recommended by YouTube on the watch page. So the watch page is when you're watching a YouTube video, and then on the sidebar in the right, you'll see suggested videos. That's where this is. This is the recommended on the watch page. And then recommended on homepage is when someone logs into YouTube, they, open up the homepage. The YouTube homepage is the thing that pops up first. And this is where I am showing 5.7% of the time that I'm being recommended. Now, how do you increase this? Like, how do you increase the chances of YouTube recommending your content? If you can hone in on what your channel is about, who your content is for, and why they should subscribe. Those are the three questions that you want to be very, very clear across your channel, not just with your videos, but also your channel description and making sure that your channel is cohesive from video to video and all of those things. I have several videos on this that will help YouTube understand, like, okay, if someone is watching videos or has a history of watching videos that are about gardening, and your video is about, an aspect of gardening, then it's more likely to show your video to people. Then it's more likely to show your video to those people who already have an interest or have demonstrated an interest in liking that content. So that's why you want to be as clear as possible, because you're basically trying to get an AI to understand like who is most likely going to be interested in your content based on several factors, including their personal watch history. Now, the second thing you want to look at is your click-through rate. So here mine says 4.3%. Basically, this is the number of times that someone actually clicks on your video when they see your thumbnail, right? So say across YouTube, 100 people, or your thumbnail is served to people 100 times, and you have 10 people who actually click on that thumbnail and watch it, then you have a 10% click-through rate, right? So YouTube says that a click-through rate between 2 to 10% is normal. So I'd say that on my channel, this could definitely be higher, and I can work on that by creating better thumbnails or making content that is more interesting or more relevant to my subscribers. But definitely the thumbnail and the title tag teaming is really what drives the click-through rate here. And then the next thing is average view duration. This is a good indicator of, if your videos tend to be 5 minutes long and they're watching about 2 minutes and 39 seconds of it, then, maybe there's something you can do about halfway through your videos to get people to watch for longer. For my channel, this is actually going higher, because when I kicked off or restarted this channel this summer, the average view duration was like just over a minute. So I'm getting higher and higher as I re-strategize and rebrand. And then of course, all of this translates to about 46 hours of watch time from these impressions. So this pyramid can really help you. Like, you get a lot of insight here as to like what you can improve. Okay, if your click-through rate is less than 5%, what can we do with our thumbnails to change things up? Stuff like that. So the other metric I like to look at is my types of traffic sources. So how people discover my channel. You can see here that most people find me through YouTube search, but as a rule of thumb, the two sources that you want as the highest are typically YouTube search and suggested videos. So suggested videos, this right here is directly driven by this, right? If you want to increase how often you're recommended, again, you just want to be very clear to YouTube, like, this is who is most likely going to be interested in my content. So everything about like the actual kind of content you create, to your tags, to your description, and all of that, all of these signals that we can kind of let YouTube know this is who my content is for. And the reason why you want this to be your highest is because YouTube is very smart and uses a lot of data to actually decide whether someone is most likely to like your video, right? And if they've demonstrated that they're most likely to like your video, they're more likely to subscribe, they're more likely to watch more of your content and stuff like that. So, you could even just think, if you go to your homepage, YouTube does a pretty good job of recommending content that, even though you're not subscribed to these channels, based on your viewing history, this is content that you probably want to check out. All right, so now that you've learned about YouTube analytics, you could watch this video next, where I break down how the YouTube algorithm works so that you know how to apply the data that you just learned about in this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.